This is A's Cast Live, your comprehensive look at the Athletics.
Leaping at the wall, it's gone! A towering drive into center field by Rooker.
And 29 other MLB clubs.
A judgy blast. All rise. Here comes the judge.
Swung on, hit high, hit deep to right, away back into the second deck.
Bobby Witt Jr. becomes the first shortstop in Major League history to have two 30-30 seasons.
Shohei Ohtani starts the 50-50 club.
Join us as we take you inside the baseball universe, from humidors to walk-off dingers to Hall of Fame talk. We have you covered. Spend your afternoon with us, only on A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of A's Cast Live. Whether you're listening on 650 KSTE in Sacramento, 95.5 KWNR FM HD2 The Bowl in Las Vegas, anywhere on the A's radio network. A's Cast, of course, watching on Twitter and on YouTube. We got 6 games left. It is hard to believe. Just 6 games left, 3 against the Kansas City Royals, 3 against the Houston Astros, then 3 against the Kansas City Royals. This series starting tonight, fantastic, because we got a chance to see the Athletics completely knock the Astros out of the postseason. Now, will it happen in these 3 games? Maybe not. Definitely the West, but can contribute to hopefully pretty much putting another nail in the coffin of the Astros being in the postseason and knocking them completely out of the wild card. Hogan Harris hopefully is going to join us soon. I can't wait to talk to him. The way things have changed for him as he's now turned into an extraordinary reliever. It's been a lot of fun. We asked Mark Kotze about it earlier this week. And then we've got Hot Take Tuesday coming up here at 5:15. It's just not Johnny D. The Hall of Famer Ken Korach is going to stop by for the first time ever to do hot takes, Commander.
Well, as we say, as Brent Musburger says in The Waterboy, last Tuesday of the season, can't hold anything back. That's why we're bringing Ken Korach on for Hot Take Tuesday.
Game of the year, Brent, can't hold anything back now.
Sorry, that was Dan Fouts who said that, not Brent Musburger.
I'm trying to figure like what is this going to be? I mean, is this going to be like a presidential Hot Take Tuesday, or is it going to get down and dirty like it normally is?
I think it's going to be very, very presidential here.
Actually,
Korach may surprise us all and just give us – he might just roast all of us and give great hot takes we never saw coming.
Is Korach going to, sling it through the mud?
He might realize – he might be like, you know what, this isn't I don't have to worry about play-by-play. I can say whatever I want here, and he's going to go scorch the earth.
We are going to talk to Adam Burke from VSiN in Las Vegas, as this is an amazing week, wagering week. You've got 6 games left in baseball. Remember, Sunday, we all kick off at noon. You've got, obviously, college football, pro football, but then you got Ryder Cup. If you follow golf, you follow Ryder Cup. This is the best betting format there is during a golfing calendar. So every other year, it's either Ryder Cup or it's the President's Cup. Ryder Cup, obviously, it's the Americans against the Europeans. Bethpage Black in New York. It's going to be rowdy. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a great event. Team format, easier to bet. So we'll talk to Adam Burke from VSiN coming up at 5:30. And then Geoff Blum, Blummer, the Cal Bear great, the man who helped lead Cal to the College World Series. He's a World Series hero and MVP with the Chicago White Sox. And then he now also is the color guy for their television network. So we'll have Geoff Blum, the former Cal Bear, on.
With a special surprise for Blummer we're going to give to him.
And it involves the 2-time World Series champion, Steve Sachs.
Something that maybe 40 years in the making that could be righted. A slight could be righted on this program.
We're going to mend. We're gonna mend the divide. We're going to make people come together and feel good today. Can we make some people feel good today?
I think people who listened to this program months ago heard this story. They should appreciate it, and hopefully Blummer appreciate it as much as we do.
Well, really, this is healing for Blummer. It doesn't really matter much for us. This is really more for Blummer.
Blummer could feel like a wrong was righted. Right.
Yeah, we are going to right a alleged wrong from probably what? Is it 40?
I'm not saying it's Keith Hernandez spitting on Newman and Seinfeld, but it's a pretty close legend.
You're saying this is 40 years ago?
It was in the early 80s, I believe, early to mid 80s.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Oh, no, my guy lost his job today, Mike Gundy.
I sent you guys a clip. It was like 18 years ago. Yesterday, it was the Mike Gundy infamous, I'm a man, I'm 40.
Mike Gundy, the head coach of Oklahoma State. I watched him play in the 1988 Holiday Bowl. He was the quarterback for Barry Sanders in Oklahoma State. He's been one of the funniest guys ever as a head coach. He's been very successful, but Mike Gundy, they're having a really tough start of the season. It was presented to him. It was presented to him to retire at the end of the season. He said no, so they said time to go. I mean, I'm a man, I'm 40 after a win. That post-game presser is one of the greats in the history of – it's one of the greats in one of the history of sports.
2007, September 22nd, 2007, the year that they won the Insight Bowl after finishing 7-6. Gundy won 170 games at Oklahoma State. Pretty impressive.
His entire adult life, right? Went there to play quarterback, stayed there and coached, and then became the head coach. And it's sad to see something like that go down. So my guy is gone, so we will play some of his great clips through the years. There was a montage I saw on Twitter earlier today of just showing him as a player all the years and all the things that he did. Funny guy, great personality. I know some people that know him personally say he's just one hell of a guy. The kind of guy you want to go out with, hang with. He's one of those guys. So that was a tough one. But to me, there's two things that we're going to talk about today. One is ending Houston season. The other is baseball making the move. Johnny and I saw it this year. It was, I think, the third preseason game. We were at Surprise, and that is the home of the Rangers and the Kansas City Royals, their spring training. And the Athletics, we were taking on either the Royals or the Rangers, and it was the first time I ever got to see the ABS system. Never seen it before. Heard about it. People love it. The challenge system. And it happened pretty quick, and I was so excited. And all of a sudden, pitch was made. Catcher tapped his cap. They were going to challenge it. You go, what's going to happen? Well, all of a sudden, it comes up on the scoreboard. Ball comes down. And it comes to home plate, and it's ruled, whatever it was, a ball or a strike. And the crowd went nuts. I went nuts. Johnny's doing the play-by-play. I'm doing the color at spring training. I'm like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in baseball. Other than the pitch clock, this is incredible. And there was and it was an early spring training game, so there was probably like 7,000, 8,000 people. That's a bigger ballpark, so it might be 6,000, 7,000. People went nuts. And I got to tell you, I loved it. And then saw it throughout spring and went, this is a keeper. The drama that it adds. Fans love it. It happens within 6 to 8 seconds. So the thing that we've always been afraid with technology is that it's going to make things go, make games take longer, right? Because we still, to this day, when a guy goes under the hood of an NFL game and you're like, oh, my God. And then we see with replay in baseball, and it takes forever. It's simple. It's going to be, pitcher, catcher, or hitter. They're the only guys that can do it. You get 2 a game.
Correct.
If you're right, you retain. If you get into extra innings, you get 1. As long as you're right, you keep your challenges. And that's it. It's not coming from the dugout. It's not coming from anywhere else. Because there were thoughts, I think, that in the minor leagues, a manager could challenge. Manager can't challenge. The coaching staff, no other players. It's either got to be the pitcher, the hitter, or the catcher. That's it. And you get 2 challenges, so there's going to be strategy for that. So if you're a hot-headed guy and it's early in a game and you're a hitter and you go, no, and you challenge it and you're wrong, people are going to be upset with you because you want those challenges when they really, really, really matter. There's going to be a lot of strategy to this, right? And you're going to have to, as a coaching staff and as a front office, really inform your players, when to use it, when's the right time to use it. And you better be right, because the minute you're wrong, you lose it. But the key thing is, it's just not the strategy for the players. It's the fact the fans love it.
Yeah.
We want to get it right. And all of a sudden, when you have ball call and a pitcher goes, whoa, that's a strike, and he's going to challenge it, and we all get to see who's right, who's wrong.
So there's a note today, too, and like if you read it on The Athletic, the Associated Press, or an ESPN, during spring training this season, teams combined to average around 4 challenges per game. It's succeeded about 52.2% of the time. Isn't that in gambling? If you're right 52% of the time, you're considered a great gambler.
Wait, what?
52.2% of the time.
52 to 53%.
Yeah. According to the league, catchers were the most successful at 56% overturn rate, while the hitters were correct 50% of the time, and pitchers 41% of the time. That's just from spring training this year. Those are some numbers.
Okay, so pitchers were 41%. So we're now telling them you never get to challenge.
Yeah.
Hitters were what?
50.
50.
And catchers were 56.
So catchers, you get to challenge.
So this could make into the argument of MVP next year if you want to do it. Big Dumper got challenges right. That could play into him being a most valuable player.
This is not going to affect pitch framing.
I think eventually when they do the the ABS ball strike system.
Pitch framing is still going to be in our game because pitch framing will only be affected once the actual balls and strikes. This is not balls and strikes. This is balls and strikes are going to be called. You get to challenge whether you think that ball and strike call was right. Mm-hmm. So pitch framing, the catcher pitch framing that everybody loves, is not going away whatsoever.
Yeah, it'll just be once we start doing the full balls and strike system that are out, robot umpiring. That'll affect it. I think it'll affect it a little bit because if a guy pulls it up and oh, that's a ball, like that might hurt it, but it won't dramatically change. Like a guy like Patrick Bailey for the Giants, who's very good at framing, I don't think it's going to destroy his reputation as a great framer. It might take his numbers down a little bit, but he'll still get the framing runs that people look at on Baseball Savant and Fangraphs.
Yeah, well, it's not going to change anything.
As of right now, no.
No.
Umpires
are still going to call every single ball and strike. It's just twice a game.
You can challenge, yeah.
You can challenge.
Which is great.
If you're right, you can keep challenging. If you're wrong, you lose the challenges. It's as simple as that. And the fact that the challenge system is 6 to 8 seconds, you're not adding any time to the game.
I just loved one. Was it spring training whenever, I forget who, was it Trey Turner did it to Max Scherzer, and Scherzer was
first pitch of
the game. Yeah. I hope someone does that next year. Just first pitch, first game of the year, opening day. We go through all the pageantry, the first dumb challenge. First pitch.
I hope it's somebody else's team.
Yeah, not our team.
These challenges are going to be very, very vital, especially late in the games, right? Runners on, high leverage situations, reliever, 2-2 pitch, throws a slider on the outside corner. It's called a strike, and all of a sudden you go, no, and that's now a ball, not a strike. Cannot wait. It is going to change our game, and it's going to bring excitement. And I also think whenever you bring new technology into the game, it helps bring younger fans of the game because younger fans like technology.
I think this is going to be great for the game. But with all this bringing in, it gets excited. You guys mentioned in spring training, they showed on the video board, so everyone could be involved in it. And something you mentioned to Adam Burke that people can hear later in the show about how this takes into the gambling aspect of that, if that could be something that comes into play down the line.
Yeah, the gambling aspect of it, and you'll hear from Adam Burke from VSiN, Vegas Sports Information Network.
There you go.
I've been switching the I and the S. The reality is now in baseball, all the televisions everywhere, including in the clubhouse, are on delay. Why? Because the Red Sox were using Apple Watches. These guys here, the Astros, were banging on trash cans. So that's why we have a delay.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be a delay. The only time I guess you could do it is if you're a fan in the stands, you have like the MGM app, but it looks like that will never be possible. But what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to wager on how many challenges. Will there be 4 challenges? You know, they will find creative ways for people to be able to do prop bets on ABS. And as we were told, Bob Nightingale from the USA Today, he did say that in the future, ABS system will be used for gambling the balls and strikes. They're going to figure out a way for people to stay in baseball and bet on the ABS system, no doubt.
Let's bring Johnny and Ken in. They're still trying to track down Hogan Harris.
This is a historic, and I mean we're
going to stand for this too.
Historic. Ken Korach is arriving for his debut, Hot Take Tuesday. I mean, it may be so crazy we might have to get the dump button. You know, I don't know what Korach's going to do with hot takes. It can get out of hand.
You guys are going to have to share, unfortunately. We only have 3 mics on this program.
Because Johnny.
Hi, Ken Korach. I don't hear Ken. Is he on? There you go. Talk, Ken.
How are you, Chris?
I am doing
It's
well.
great
How are
to
you?
talk some baseball with you.
Yeah.
And share the mic with Johnny D.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we're just not talking baseball. We want a Hall of Fame hot take.
What are you going to want, like Ryder Cup stuff or something today?
You can do whatever you want.
He's going Euros already? You're going
Not
against your own
yet.
country?
I didn't say that. I did not say that.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Hard to believe there's only 6 left.
I know. I haven't done that many games this year, so I'm usually by this time of the year I'm fried. So I'm not fried yet. Maybe Sunday, but not yet.
How are you feeling, Johnny?
Right. No, I feel good. No, I feel good. No, I'm funny you're interviewing me right now. No, I feel good, man.
You need a mic.
Well, Hall of Famer to Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
no, I'm
the Hall of
excited.
Famers.
Looking forward to
Yeah, not fried, but you can tell it's into the season.
Yeah.
I'm kind of there.
Those
Yeah.
few days when the season ends, it's just like, how it
Yeah,
is. It
got to
feels good.
decompress a little bit.
Yes.
All right, are we ready for a little Hot Take Tuesday? Michael?
Every once in a while, you hear a really good sports hot take.
Mark this and remember what I told you. The Yankees will not win the World Series.
Not only will Brent Rooker be an all-star, Brent Rooker will be in the home run derby this year.
I believe the A's will have a 15-run game. They need a laugher.
Then you hear some really bad hot takes.
I'm calling it now. There will be a collapse in Milwaukee, and the Chicago Cubs will catch them.
Aaron Judge will not record a hit this weekend against the A's.
I think that the Pittsburgh Pirates are going to the NLCS this year.
Wow.
Well, on A's Cast Live, all takes are hot takes. It's time for Hot Takes Tuesday with Chris Townsend, only on A's Cast Live.
I mean, the fact that we have you here, King
This is
Korach,
big.
I almost feel bad we're bringing you down.
I'm honored to be here with you guys.
I mean,
You
your
know, with
illustrious
you and the
career, we're just a
commander,
bunch of morons
what,
making.
what you've done this year, because this might be my last shot on Ace Cast, right? What you guys have done this year has been incredible.
Thank you.
To build
Thank
the
you, guys.
set over here at the ballpark and then all the interviews and the hard work. And so I hope that A's fans will tune in the off season.
You know, I'll give our
Because-
boss Delaire a lot, even though he probably doesn't want to hear that from me right now. I will give our boss Delaire a lot of credit. He was the one that made all of this happen.
Yeah, it's really cool.
All right,
So-
let's here you go. What do you got?
Well, Nick Kurtz has 17 hits against the Astros this year.
Uh-huh.
He had a pretty big game in Houston.
I've
right?
heard of it.
Maybe one of the greatest games in the history of baseball. You could take the maybe out of it. They're not going to want to pitch to him tonight, Towny. So it's Langeliers and Soderstrom
Yes,
are batting behind him.
Yeah.
They're going to combine for at least 4 hits and 2 home runs tonight, the two of them. Because the Astros, Kurtz, they're not going to want to pitch to Kurtz. But the rest of these guys, they can mash. So I think they're going to profit from batting behind Kurtz tonight.
4 hits combined
home
at
runs,
least
at
and 2
least.
home runs.
At least.
From 2 guys.
Right.
This is a 2-guy take. I like
He's
it.
making up for the season. He's
Yeah.
wants to get them all in now.
So
2
both
guys
his
take.
guys
Is that
have
legal?
to come up big. No,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah. Okay.
It makes it tougher.
Yeah, it does.
It makes it tougher. I
Well, I
like
have
it.
faith in these guys.
I like it.
I do.
I do. I like it, Johnny.
Why don't you take the mic?
I will take the mic. My hot take is a unique one. There will be a collapse in New York, and I'm not just talking about the Mets. There will not be a New York team this year to make the playoffs.
The Yankees collapse. Oh,
Yankees and Mets will not make
if that
the playoffs.
happens, I'm taking you to dinner.
Okay, steak?
Steak.
Okay.
If that happens, it's
Thanks.
steak dinner on me.
Appreciate that.
Yes. Can you imagine how great it'll be?
That's a county hot
Giants
take. Is
stink,
what
Jets stink, Yankees, Mets out.
You'll
Oh,
be kitty guy.
it'll be great.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, I'll do this quickly. Not only will the Tigers not win the AL Central,
Oh, wow.
they're going to miss the postseason entirely as Tarek Skubal blows it the final game of the year trying to pitch them into the postseason. And the Tigers will not reach the postseason.
That's a hot take. They usually
Guardians win the Central, and whoever else wins the AL or wins the last wild card.
All right, we got to get Hogan Harris in here.
What's yours? You got to do yours.
I'm just next year, the entire year, you're going to watch my man Johnny Doskow suck up to Rob Manfred, and he's going to be all ABS all day long. This is great. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen. I love. And when he dogged it for all these years, telling us how bad and technology, he loves the human air. Human air will be gone. Johnny will be. He's going to be sponsored by ABS next year. You watch 162 games, he'll be Johnny Technology.
That's hilarious. You're the greatest.
We'll go to break here, then come back with
Gentlemen, it has been a pleasure.
Yes,
Johnny,
you crushed it all year.
162 games, amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Yep, thanks.
Ken Korach,
Thanks,
let me
Johnny.
tell you
Ken,
something. It
thank
doesn't
you.
matter how many games you do. You're one of the greatest who have ever done this in our organization's history. We've honored two men recently, right? Of course, last year we did Bill King. This year we did the great Monty Moore. When you talk about one of the great you're one of the great voices in this illustrious organization's history. It is always an honor to have you on the broadcast team, and we want you forever.
He's very kind.
No, and he's everything he says is accurate. You're a legend, brother.
I'm trying to get strokes too. Is what I'm doing.
On the golf course.
Hogan Harris will join us next right here on A's Cast Live.
A's outfielder Colby Thomas joined Chris Townsend on A's Cast Live and discussed the success he's had versus left-handed pitchers in 2025.
Honestly, I don't know. In the minor leagues, other than this year, I was a reverse split guy, so I hit righties better. And in college, I hit righties a lot better. But this year, they had started putting me in there more to face lefties, and I've gotten more confident about it. You know, I've started to see more, and I mean, these are the best left-handed pitchers in the world. So being able to face the best of the best, I mean, it only gets easier, I guess. Like when you face guys like Skubal and you face like the guy like we're facing today. I mean, what an opportunity!
This guy's legit.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/A'sCast.
When it comes to knocking it out of the park, nobody beats Folsom Lake Ford. Folsom Lake Ford is a 7-time Triple Crown Award winner, Ford Motor Company's highest honor, for being the best in customer satisfaction in sales, service, and finance. Step up to the plate for our biggest selection of new Ford models, including the legendary F-150, on sale now. Shop Folsom Lake Ford. Yours in the Folsom Auto Mall. FolsomLakeFord.com.
That ball is out of here.
Red Sox pitching coach and 2009 American League Rookie of the Year, Andrew Bailey, joined Towny on A's Cast Live to reflect on winning the Rookie of the Year and what the award meant to him in his career.
Yeah, it's a special honor. I mean, like you said, it's something that no one can take away. Probably one of the best years of my life, to be honest with you. You know, from a baseball standpoint, you know, just every day, just focused, and you know, just things just kind of went my way, so to say. And I was very focused on my routines and stayed very consistent. You know, but for me, I mean, I think winning that award allowed me the opportunity to kind of continue to play when things weren't going great.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/cast.
Looking to stay up to date on all things A's? Head over to athletics.com/A'sCast. That's athletics.com/A'sCast to listen to A's baseball in full 24/7 coverage of the A's, only on A's Cast. With a single click, you can stream great shows, live pre- and post-game coverage, and of course, all the great action of the A's this season. Head to athletics.com/A'sCast today.
A's Cast Live continues from West Sacramento. Here's Chris Townsend.
Hogan Harris joins us here on A's Cast Live, and I will not forget, we were standing in the dugout in Mesa, Arizona. We were joking about your fastball, and your fastball, I can't get it more than 91, 92.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you're a reliever now, and you're pumping 95.
Sure, from time to time. Yeah, that was kind of cool how it's starting to climb up a little bit. We figured out a couple things in the mechanics, just timing-wise, things like that all of a sudden freed up a few different things all at once, I guess you could say. The hips are starting to turn a little better. So then you get a little more separation. It's just kind of, it's nice because I'm not trying to throw that much harder. It's just kind of happening. So ideally we ride this wave and then we keep doing it for the next 8 to 12 years.
All right. So then I'm totally wrong because I've been saying, well, you know, when you're not a starter anymore and you're a lever, you can really let it go.
Sure.
You're saying it's all about biomechanics and changing how you move.
In a sense, yeah. I mean, there are times where like you can naturally be like, okay, I can give 100% instead of 90 because whenever you're throwing 100 to 120 pitches a game, I mean, no one really does 120 anymore. But whenever you're doing that, there is a different mindset of you just want to be smooth so you can go 6-7 innings, not have anything feel any different from inning 1 and inning 7. But whenever you're able to do it for 1, 2, and occasionally 3 innings, there's that bit of difference. You're like, all right, I can hump up all the time. So there is that little, like, it's a mindset switch and a little bit of also, like, I got lucky. It was a nice combo of both. The mindset got me able to throw a little bit harder anyways. And then the stuff just clicked up. And then it just started coming out a little better.
And also there's the thing called the juice, adrenaline. When you come in, you warm up as a starter, you're in the bullpen, you warm up, you come in, you have to navigate hopefully through 6-7 innings. Yep. Now all of a sudden music's playing, you're coming out, there's runners on, it's time to there's a different adrenaline rush to it. Explain how that has helped you.
Yeah, it's very interesting because at first it was, I don't want to say nerve-wracking because I never really felt nervous pitching wise, but it took a little bit to kind of find, I guess, for the lack of a better term, like the psycho portion of the back end of the bullpen that I feel like Mason obviously has really well. Like you see him, like he'll just be talking to you, and then like that 7th, 8th inning, you just see some switch in him, and I'm starting to kind of learn how to get that switch when I need to. So that's part of it, but it's very interesting because I can't really explain how it happens. It's just the more and more you do it, you kind of learn like, okay, now it's time for all of a sudden to go from 4 to level 10. And then you just learn how to ride that wave without it becoming like too much to handle. I feel like that's kind of what's happened on the back end of the last couple months. I've kind of learned how not to be like, and going from that to, all right, let's go. And kind of like that, learning that and figuring out how to not let it overwhelm you.
Well, not overwhelm you. And also you can go more than 1 inning. So
Sure.
It makes you a weapon that you're just not coming in. Well, hopefully, it used to be left on left.
Sure.
Now you got to get at least 3 outs. But for you have the ability to go through a lineup a few times.
Yep.
And a lot of you guys do. It's kind of been a different strategy for the bullpen. So talk about that, how the strategy now for the bullpen is, all right, there's not necessarily any roles. We just know you have a chance to pitch today, and you're probably going to go more than 3 outs.
Yeah, I think I like it for multiple reasons. One, I feel like it gives a bunch of fluidity to the bullpen. Like, let's just say you're going in, right? If you go in, I'm not going to be like, all right, I got to make sure I'm ready in 2 people. You know what I mean? Just because like that's what old bullpen roles were and still are in many different places, but not here. So, and also the other aspect of that is on their team side, they have to be ready. Every hitter has to be ready for a pitcher. Like back in the day, it was like, all right, hey, when you go up, this guy's going to come in. And you have to know how to hit him. But instead, now they have to know how to hit 9 guys or 10 guys even for that day, which I would argue to say seems pretty hard because if I remember in school, I wasn't very good at remembering all 10 that I needed to do. So it's like that adds a nice aspect too because you got everyone has a pitch or at least one, sometimes 3 or 4 that's effective to one side of the plate or the other, no matter who's hitting. And that's really hard to defend when you have to worry about 9 or 10 guys.
Yeah, it's when people say it's tougher to hit now more than ever before, I always say the numbers are going to show you. We don't have record ERAs. It's not like there's record stuff going on with pitching. It's the fact that we have more pitchers. There's far more pitchers in the bullpen than years ago. Years ago, you had 3, 4, maybe 5. Now you got a whole group of guys down there. And it's all the different looks and all the different arms that these hitters got to see in a game. That has made the big change. And I think of you adding that velocity, but you still have, well, we were just talking about new A's Hall of Famer, Barry Zito has. That's old Uncle Charlie. You can throw it for a strike when you want. You can throw it down. You can spin it more. You can throw it outside. You can throw it inside. It's the gift, the left-handed curveball, and the feel that you can do whatever you want with it. Talk about how that's just a gift.
Yeah, I mean, it's a game changer. I've kind of talked about it before, whether here or other places, but it makes – that helped me be effective when I was like 91, 92, 93. And now it's just even better because it's – if you have to be ready for 94, then 73 is going to look like 30. And then if you're waiting on 73, then 94 is going to look like 104. So it's very helpful in the aspect of just such a velo separation that doesn't even necessarily have to be a perfect pitch. It just has to be somewhere around there to make their eyes, even for a second, just be like, oh, even if they take it, they're like, oh, okay, I saw that and I had to go up and down just to be able to see the pitch the whole time. So then all of a sudden you just give them one up. Even if it's 93, it'll feel like 100. So,
there's no, I mean, like you start thinking about if all of a sudden they know you can throw change-up, breaking ball, especially the breaking ball at any time, your fastball just elevates. It's amazing. Yep. Is there a count you never feel comfortable throwing the curveball?
No, no, not really. I've thrown it for so long. I still throw the same curveball now that I learned when I was 11. So I've thrown it the exact same the whole time. Yeah,
it's a gift.
Yeah, I got lucky with that one that I learned it early and had a feel for it the whole time. So I wouldn't really say there's a count at all. No, I'll throw it anywhere.
As you get more comfortable being a reliever, do you still think about starting?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up as a starter my whole life. I love starting. I mean, if the opportunity arises and they want me to, I'm never going to say no to it. But I absolutely love relieving too now. So it's like, I'm in the best of both worlds. Like I love. It took me a little while, to be honest, to really like and love relieving. But like I was telling you, I kind of came into my own. And I've started to learn how to like harness it, so it's not really stressful anymore. In the aspect of like, oh man, I only have one inning. I better not screw it up. You know what I mean? Like at first, that was the part I didn't like about it. Where starting, you have one bad inning, I can make up for it for six more innings after that.
Yeah.
Where this one, it's like, there was that stress to it, but now I've come into my own with it in the aspect of I understand the significance, but also the significance isn't the end of the world. And that helped me a lot. So it's, I mean, obviously, yeah, like I guess go back to your question, I would always love to start, but I now love relieving too. So I'm in a win-win situation no matter what.
The future of this team, you've been playing with these young guys. You've been with some of them down in the minor leagues. You've been with them for years also up here at the big leagues. You've kind of seen everything for the big league level down what this organization has, being an athletics draft pick yourself. Tell us what you think the future, what are we going to be looking at in the future with this ball club?
Honestly, I feel like this is almost, I don't want to sound like overzealous or overexcited, but I really do think like this year from this point on for at least the next 3-4 years is the floor, which is fun because like the last 2 years we were climbing to get to this point. And now I really feel like this is the floor because we have the young guys that were in the middle of like kind of here, kind of not last year. They've all been here. They've all been killing it now. We have Kurtz, Wilson, Hernandez, Brett, everybody. Like the defense just continues to get better. And then as that happens, the hitting is now getting better as well, like all across the board. Like everyone's doing their job and it just feels fun instead of stressful kind of all across the board. So I think this year is the floor and I think it's really only up. I think we're going to see a 2018, 2019 style A's again here pretty soon. So,
well, I'll tell you what, I don't know if you're going to be closing. I don't know if you're going to be a reliever. I don't know if you're going to be a starter. I do know this. The way you have pitched here, you have shown everybody you should be on the staff in 2026. I've talked a lot about you starting because the last time you started, you shoved against the Astros, but that's been a while. With the way you've changed your game and you developed, it's been fun to see. Congratulations. If I don't talk to you, have a great offseason.
Thank you very much.
And we'll see you down in Mesa because you're going to be on this pitching staff for a long, long time.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
All right. Let's head to Las Vegas. Earlier today, we had a chance to talk to Adam Burke from VEASAN. It's hard to believe, but only 6 games left in the MLB calendar, and we got a lot going on, obviously, with the National Football League, college football, Ryder Cup this weekend. Adam Burke joins us from VSiN, Vegas Information Sports Network. How are you?
I'm good, man. Like you said, very, very busy time of the year, to say the least.
Yeah, it's always like, what is your favorite time of the year? Some people love when we're hitting March Madness and you got NBA and you have all that going on. For me, this is my favorite time because it's baseball. It's the most meaningful games. We're going to get into the playoffs. And, of course, with football, throwing the Ryder Cup, we got a lot going on.
Yeah, we really do. And, in fact, we just posted all of our NHL team previews over at vsin.com because that season starts 2 weeks from today. Our NBA guide comes out in 2 weeks because that season starts in 4 weeks. So, yeah, very, very busy time of the year in so many ways. And especially, there's something for everybody, which is really, really nice about the fall.
So if we start looking at teams that have basically collapsed, some not totally collapsed, but if you look at the Mets or behind us today, the Houston Astros. So from a wagering standpoint, we always talk about following trends. How much are you following teams that just struggle? Detroit struggling, Cleveland surging. How much do you follow that?
Yeah, I think it's important, especially because as the games increase in magnitude, baseball is a very, very mental game. If you're not out there with conviction, whether it's in the batter's box or on the pitcher's mound, you definitely have the opportunity to struggle. So, there are a lot of instances at this time of the year where you do need to be cognizant of the fact that the teams that are in must-win situations, quote unquote, their lines are probably going to be a little bit inflated. They're going to be a little bit higher than they should be. Sometimes it's warranted, sometimes it's not. But especially for the teams that are struggling, there are a lot of days where you don't want to lay that kind of number with a team that's not playing particularly well. So you take it on a case-by-case basis. But yeah, a lot of pressure cooker games now this week for a lot of teams that have either not been playing well or are trying to stay hot, which is a very difficult thing in and of itself too.
And then you got these other teams that are playing with zero pressure. They're just out, hey, I want to impress the front office on the way out for a job next year in 2026, and those teams can be tough to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. And, look, I think to bring up the Athletics as an example here, a team that's not really playing for anything other than pride, but this final week of the regular season, there are a lot of individual players that are looking for, nice round numbers, 30 home runs, 40 home runs, 25 home runs, 30 steals, whatever the case may be, trying to stay above or around 300, something like that. So there's a lot of good player prop opportunities. And, for example, on Monday night, with Christian Javier, on Tuesday night, with Christian Javier, a very extreme fly ball guy in a ballpark that's been pretty good for offense, another hot night there in Sacramento. I played Tyler Soderstrom to hit a home run at about 4-1. He's got 24 home runs. He would love to get to 25. There's just something better about finishing your season with 25 as opposed to 24. So those are things you can look at in the player prop markets as well, where if it's not as much about team success, you may see guys get a little bit more selfish with their plate appearances, trying to hit some of those individual benchmarks.
All righty. The automatic balls and strikes. It's coming to baseball in 2026. MLB announced today. It is huge. We saw it in spring training. Absolutely loved it. We had Bob Nightingale on from the USA Today. He said, yes, as much as we all want to act about it, or we want to act like it's about getting it right, the reality is it's something baseball knows you're going to be able to gamble on, strike or ball. From a wagering perspective, how excited are you for ABS coming to baseball next year and just what it will be long term?
I would say the thing I'm most excited about is that they're going to get the calls right. It's very hard to bet into a sport where things are up for a lot of debate, where there's a lot of gray area, where you have to take into account, catcher framing and umpire statistics and all these different types of things. This is going to standardize the game a little bit. And so from a betting standpoint, in a high variance sport like baseball, I'm happy with that because it's one less thing that I have to worry about. But there are sites that do the micro betting and, they'll do things popping up live betting on review. Well, the review process is really, really quick. So it's going to be very hard to do that, but you'll probably have pregame prop bets of, how many challenges are there? How many overturned pitches are there? How many correct pitches are called by the umpires that get challenged? All that kind of thing. Because, if it's a black and white number and you can put an over-under line on it, people will probably bet into it. So I would think that market will be available pregame. I can't see a lot of live betting with it because of how fast the process is. But I do think that it will impact the game tremendously, probably for the better, but also give people just another thing to bet on when it comes to baseball.
Well, like when we're in Vegas in 2028, and let's say you have the MGM app and you're sitting in your seats, could you see it then happening where I could bet, I think this is a strike or I think it's a ball?
No, I don't think so because, you also run into the TV delays. You try to get the latency as good as you can as a sports network, as a streaming provider, whatever the case may be. But the sports books, they get the real-time feeds. We don't have access to those. So it would, first of all, be an unfair market. Even if you're at the game, there's just not really enough time to put the market up and take wagers on it. So I don't think it'll be a live betting opportunity. But again, I do think that a pregame line of number of challenges, number of correct challenges, number of incorrect challenges for the full game for both teams, all of that is very much going to be fair game, I think.
And, of course, you can thank the Houston Astros for never seeing a live feed again on television. Everything will always be delayed because of what we saw that was going on with Houston. We know about the Yankees and the Red Sox and some other teams. All right, this weekend, Ryder Cup. Betting golf is interesting. Now we're not betting two guys or guys that are up against each other for a certain round. Now it's a team format. It's the only time you see a team format with the best players in the world. What do you think about betting golf in the Ryder Cup?
Yeah, I think the Ryder Cup is an event that is absolutely tailored to and made for live betting because there are a lot of momentum swings in this type of environment. It's a time where the golfers are actually very emotional, and like outwardly emotional. The crowd gets into it a lot more than they typically do, just because the viewing experience for golf is something where you're kind of supposed to, just be mindful of the other players on the course, just the sport in and of itself. Anyone talks in your backswing, even if you're not a pro, you get upset about it. So, this is just a different type of environment here, to say the least. And of course, on U.S. soil here, this is one of those things where in the U.S. betting markets, there's always going to be value on betting the Europeans to win it, just because the line's going to be inflated. You're going to have a lot of people that are just going to bet with America because that's the side that they want to root for. So it's a tough bet to make, right? I think that Europe probably has the line value, but who wants to bet against America in a team competition like this? So it's always interesting to see that. And then, of course, you can bet, individually, guys that excel at match play, guys that are just, kind of better at that format. You can bet those individual matches throughout the course of the tournament as well.
And the great thing about it, in New York, it's going to be a raucous crowd. The first couple days, you're betting basically as teams. The last day, you'll bet individuals. It's fantastic. Quickly, anything really stand out so far in football for you? My guy, Mike Gundy, unfortunately got fired at Oklahoma State. Absolutely love him, but it's a disaster there in Stillwater. Anything in college, anything pro that sticks out to you?
Yeah, that evaporated very quickly for Mike Gundy there. And, obviously the athletic department gave him the chance to say, he was going to retire at the end of the season. When he said no, they're like, you know what, we got to make this move then. I think there's a lot of things that have been pretty interesting here, but number one has to be the Indianapolis Colts and the way that Daniel Jones has played, getting away from New York, maybe getting away from some of that media scrutiny, getting into a different offense. They've been fantastic so far on the offensive side of things. So I think that's the biggest thing that stands out is just what a change of scenery can mean for a quarterback, especially a guy who was a former first-round pick and got a new lease on life.
Well, great stuff. Tell everybody how they can be involved with VSiN, because if you're into wagering and you're in for the information, there's no better place to go.
No better place to go. 24/7 broadcast channel. You can find it on SiriusXM channel 158. We're also on YouTube TV as part of the Sports Plus package. 19 hours of live programming a day. We do run some replays overnight to let our people catch a breather and let our equipment cool down a little bit. But you can find us anywhere you get your podcast content as well. And VSiN.com. I'm the managing editor over there, and we're running some good subscription offers right now if you're so inclined. So check those out and check out those NHL team previews as well, as that season just about ready to get underway.
All right, great stuff, buddy. We're going to see you in Vegas this offseason. Then we'll have you on during our off-season stuff, and we'll be at the winter meetings. We'll have you on from the winter meetings, Orlando. Thank you for everything you did for us this season, and good luck the rest of this week.
I appreciate it, Chris. You guys take care over there.
He is one of our all-time favorites. As we all say, he's a Cal Bear legend, helped lead Cal to the College World Series, and, of course, a World Series hero, a man that hit one of the biggest home runs for the Chicago White Sox in their history. He's got a statue and now does television for the Houston Astros. Geoff Blum, the Blummer, joins us here on A's Cast Live. How are you?
I'm good. How have I not paid you to be my Michael Buffer of, to announce me everywhere I go?
The resume. I mean,
it's
I
unbelievable.
I look at Wikipedia and it says it. What do you want me to do?
You're doing a great job at it. That's what I think you're doing. You're doing a great job. It's always good being on with you too, man. Towny, I actually look forward every time we come through here to actually have the opportunity to hang out with you. That's the God's honest truth.
Well, I always appreciate that, and you've been very good to us, and that's why, if you remember, it was right after the All-Star. When was the celebration? The White Sox, was it after?
Was right before. It was this weekend before the All-Star break.
Okay, so I'm in Hawaii. I took an early vacation, and I'm sitting in Hawaii, and all of a sudden on the screen, there you guys pop up.
You can't shake me.
And then all of a sudden I'm like, Blummer, and I'm texting you from Hawaii. How good was that?
It was excellent. They do a really good job. Jerry Reinsdorf still has a little bit of a hold on that team. So anytime we get to go back, and I'm starting to feel like the 85 Bears when we go back into Chicago, because they celebrate those guys to no end.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, man, it's been 20 years. I go, we're turning into those guys.
Yeah.
We're going to be
Jim
floating
McMahon
around.
now.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of cool, but they do a good job. They spoil us rotten, the hotels and the local bars and establishments. They welcome us in, and that ring carries a lot of weight. But what a place to win a World Series and then to win it for an organization like the White Sox. They've been great to us, and it's always fun getting back. I mean, seeing that group of guys together, I mean, we're as crazy as we used to be. We just don't recover as quickly as we used to.
There's no doubt about that. And I heard somebody talking about it, and your name got brought up. They're like, listen, the White Sox, the big acquisition was you.
Oh, dude, you didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you were the big gun coming in from San Diego.
Have to unbutton my shirt. If not, take it off. No, it was. And that there's a couple of documentaries out there, and I know that they put out a YouTube series talking about that 05 team. And literally one of the biggest compliments I ever got paid was from Ozzie Guillen. And I didn't know this at the time. I found out about it from the documentary that they did on that 2005 team. And basically they go through the season, they get to the trade deadline, and Kenny Williams rolls into Ozzie's office, is like, hey, we got to make some moves. What moves are we going to make? You want the big splash? You want the big name? What can we do to make this team better? And Ozzie said on that documentary, he goes, I don't think we need the big name. I don't think we need the big splash. He goes, I need somebody to back up Joe Creedy because he was going through some back issues, and he needed somebody to back up Paul Konerko at first base. So maybe a utility guy that could hit from both sides of the plate. And Ozzie Guillen is the one that brought my name up and made the trade for me, because I remember Bochy told me in his office, he goes, hey, Ozzie called me and said they want you. So here we go. But the biggest compliment I ever got paid, do you guys bleep out stuff on here? Can I cuss?
Nah, we're on terrestrial radio now.
All right. So it's Ozzie Guillen talking. That's why I'm saying that. Because, I mean, if I'm going to go verbatim, you're going to have some issues. So just to paraphrase just a little bit, he just goes, I want Blum because he can do these things. And I played against Ozzie. Ozzie was my third base coach in Montreal under Jeff Torborg. I know the story's really long, but I know Ozzie intimately before I get traded over there. But Ozzie sat there and looked at Kenny Williams, and he goes, I want that guy because I know he's not going to mess up my clubhouse. And I was like, that was probably the best compliment I ever gotten paid, playing the game. You want to be noted for how you play the game, but you also want to be known that you're going to mix into a championship team. And lo and behold, I have my opportunity, and everything else is history.
Not many people in the history of this game are going to be known as the guy who was brought in the final piece.
Yeah.
So even though you're not a Hall of Fame player, whatever, you were the final piece, and you'll have that for the rest of your life. You were the final piece, they thought, and it was true. And you hit one of the biggest home runs, but you were the final piece of a World Series championship team.
Yeah, and that's another thing that's crazy to me is that I'm able to go back for these reunions, and I was there for 3 months. I didn't sign back with Chicago after the World Series. The late Kevin Towers said, you're going to be a Padre after the season. he stuck to his word. I went back to San Diego, but every time I go back for these reunions, or anytime AJ Pierzynski comes in to do a Fox game and we see each other, I mean, these guys, they hug me, they embrace me, they talk to me, I'm one of them. And I mean, that's just a credit to them, but it's kind of crazy to think that, yeah, that was not necessarily the piece that put them over the hump, but that was the piece that kind of finished the puzzle.
You know, we've seen it for years in the celebrations with our 72, 73, 74, looking at the guys from 89. I mean, but the guys from the 70s teams, they're all in their 70s, and they even talk about, we get back with each other, we're ripping each other. Like this was.
You get right back into the clubhouse. How was that happen?
I was just born then, and these guys are still acting like they were when they were in their 20s.
Oh yeah, and they remember every little thing that happened. They remember the great moments. You remember the moments in the clubhouse. You remember the moment, you messed up at dinner. I mean, they remember everything, and that's probably the best part about it, because what's cool about it is it creates 25 different viewpoints of one event. And that's probably the best part about it.
All right. The Houston Astros swept over the weekend by the Seattle Mariners. It's been it really has, as much as you know how we feel. You know how we feel. It's been an incredible run. But it's not, they don't have everybody healthy. Yordan Alvarez, it's like, what we're seeing with Nick Kurtz, that's kind of like the new Yordan Alvarez. It's just, when you don't have all your guys, it's kind of tough to be the dude anymore.
It is. It's really tough, and you're right. In years past, when we've sat down in September and talked with you, we're like, hey, magic numbers this. Yeah. We've clinched or whatever it is, and now we're trying to set our rotation, and this is completely different. This is such a unique situation they're in. I think we saw a stat the other day saying that the WAR number on the injured list for the Astros is right around 17.5. So that's kind of a large number, and I think they've set an all-time record for guys that they've been putting on the injured list. So it's kind of been a ragtag bunch, and to the Astros' credit, guys that they do call up, they have a tendency to overachieve or maybe surprise you in a couple instances to go out there and win a couple of games. So I think that's how they're in the position they're in. But do they have enough, even with 6 games left, do they have enough to finish this thing off and really grab a spot? Because until that Seattle Mariners series, we were saying, all right, they take 2 out of 3 from Seattle. All of a sudden, we're American League West champs again. That's the feeling that we got. And after that Seattle series, I think now it's just like, can we get in?
Is it shocking to you to see here down the stretch where Detroit had this monster lead, right? Now to see what Cleveland's doing, to look at the New York Mets, they are paying so much money. Like, is it because it's a 6-month race.
Yeah,
you got to run from and we're trying, for the A's. In my point of view, the A's got to start the race and learn how to run the entire race.
Yep. That's a big deal.
So
you're right.
You can't win it in the first 2 months. Yeah, but you can lose it, and we saw that this year.
100%.
But just talk about, you got to run the full race.
No, and that's kind of the beauty of what the Astros have had in the past, and kind of going back even further, that 2015 season where the Astros kind of surprised everybody in that wild card situation. They had it was very similar to what you're seeing right now. They had young talent. Maybe that team had more pitching than this A's team does, but they had an offense that could go score runs. They had a defense that was going to pick up the ball and throw it and make the out. They had pitchers that were going to give you a solid 5, maybe not the bullpen that they needed to shut down games, but you get to 16, you don't make it. 17, things change, but the reason it changed is because you're bringing in the Carlos Beltrons, the Brian McCanns, some of these veteran starters that know, like you said, how to maintain a 162-game season. And I'm 100% with you. You can't win it in April, but you can definitely lose it. And we saw what happens when you kind of lose it in April last season with these Astros, because you spend the entire season fighting back, then you get to the playoffs and you're just gassed. So being able to be consistent, being able to maintain that lead is what you've got to be able to learn.
And probably like no other state, it's so important to be relevant in Texas once football starts.
Oh, my gosh, yeah. Well, the Texans are doing us a ton of favors right now. They are terrible. Yeah. I mean, their defense is they're going to wipe some guys out.
But that offense, high school didn't they build like a $25 million high school stadium right by your house?
Yeah, the school district I was in, the $20 million stadium was not good enough. So I voted for the $70 million stadium to be built down the street.
High school, $70 million?
100%. Go to Katy ISD football stadium, literally right across the street, has the $20 million one, $70 million, and they're selling out suites. They have waiting lists for suites at a high school football stadium. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. If you're the Rangers or the Astros, you got to be relevant, because if you're not, you're going to be back page, as they like to say.
Yeah, there's a reason our network carries high school football, and that's it.
How's the family? Everybody good?
Everybody's fantastic. Yeah, I was telling you before we got on air, I've got 3 Razorbacks. I've got 1 LSU Tiger, and the Razorbacks came back Thursday night.
Triplets.
Triplet daughters come back. My youngest daughter came over from LSU on Friday, so we had a great family weekend. And considering where we're at in the season, it's kind of nice and refreshing to be, we're kind of rejuvenated by some of the youth in the family. It was great to see them.
Well, you might wonder, why do I have a baseball here?
Yeah.
So this was a
Are you
ball.
going to show me your pitch grips?
So this was a baseball that was hit earlier. BP, I think Nick Kurtz actually hit it.
How did you find it?
And it just comes right over here and almost hits me. So then I
was
going to
say, because everything I saw was going over the batter's eye.
Yeah, well, we like to mend fences here, and we like to bridge gaps.
Yep.
And we remember how our guy Steve Sachs, who joins me on A's Cast on NBC years ago, maybe didn't give you an interview.
Is he going to ambush me right here?
Didn't give you.
No. Do you want me to tell the story?
No, I got you Steve Sachs signed ball now. You finally, after all these 30-something years, you finally got your Steve Sachs signed baseball.
40
years.
40 years I've waited for this.
We can heal.
Saxy. Thank you.
We got Steve Sachs signed that for you.
Are you kidding me? Should we bro hug right now? We're just going to fist bump?
See?
It's a big deal.
See,
all of a sudden, I'm 12 years old
cast.
again, and I'm happy.
See?
Yeah. I don't have to pick my pen up out of the dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't you grow up a Dodger fan?
Yeah, I grew up 30 minutes east of L.A., and I was in Anaheim and the L.A. Dodgers, but Steve Sachs, Bill Russell, Reggie Smith, some of these guys, yeah, and I was actually on the field. Oh, man, all of them. I actually, being a Cal guy, I went to school with Dan Say, so I got to know Ron really well.
Really? The Penguin?
Every time we go through L.A. and he happens to be on the field, we will come over and see each other. But, dude, thank you very much. Give Saxy a hug for me, because this means a lot. 40 years.
40 years in the making.
40 years.
We're here for you.
I can tear that Band-Aid off now. I'm healed.
Hey, thank you for everything you do for us. Good luck the rest of the way. If not, play a lot of golf, and we'll see you next year.
Yeah. We'll get out there.
The great Cal Bear right here on A's Cast Live. That's going to do it for the show. Up next, it's the Hall of Famer Ken Korach and Johnny Doskow. We'll be back in a half hour with Steve Sachs, A's Cast on NBC Sports, California.
Looking to stay up to date on all things A's? Head over to athletics.com/A'sCast. That's athletics.com/A'sCast to listen to A's baseball in full 24/7 coverage of the A's, only on A's Cast. With a single click, you can stream great shows, live pre- and post-game coverage, and of course, all the great action of the A's this season. Head to athletics.com/A'sCast today.
This has been a presentation